Hi.
Hi. Always this fun stuff with technology, right, my dear?
Yeah, of course. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad to be live with you today. That is so
Yes,
great.
me too. I'm very excited about this. I think
So,
it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do together.
yeah, definitely. And on the new moon, it's even better. Like, I'm so
It
happy
is.
to do this today.
It is. Exactly. So, you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and
Sure. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marina. I'm a witch. I live in France. And I'm French. So English is not my first language, so I apologize for any mistake that I could make. I'll try my best to be as clear as possible.
you're perfect.
And thank you. And I do lots of things. I create jewelry and magical objects for your rituals. I also do readings and healings and coaching. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say about myself. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, my name is Annette Spacala, and I'm in the States in the desert in Arizona. So, this is our time to kind of be inside and start new things. So, here we are. I'm an accredited Jay Shetty life coach um, and also a Reiki master. So, I also read cards. I use that a lot in my practice and just intuitively connect with people. And lovely Marina and I have met in a container for business. So we are so excited to be connected and doing this together. And so, yeah, I don't know much French, Marina. I took it in college, but don't
That
count
is
on me
fine. Don't
for
worry.
anything.
I said something earlier about trying to get the live on YouTube if I can manage to download the video so that the French people who follow me can use the subtitles. We'll see if that works. I'm not making any promises, but if it works, that would be really, really awesome.
Yeah. And so this is the collaboration that we're doing. Do you want to talk about it, Marina?
Sure. So we had this idea of offering you every week kind of a forecast of the energies that will be coming up for you this week, both on the shadow side and in the light, so that you can have your, like, be prepared for what's coming up, what could come up during the week, and how you can use your own inner forces to deal with this. And we'll both do readings for the shadow part and the readings for the light part. So we have different ways of doing things, but I think they work really well together. We've tried it a little bit, and I think you should like it. Do
Mm-hmm.
you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's right on. And as with any kind of intuitive work, it just really kind of is whatever is delivered. So we thought this would be a really good opportunity to, give you some practical guidance as much as we can. But ultimately, we all know that our own wholeness resides within us. So listening to our own intuition is a big part of this for sure. But yeah, we're here to just be on the journey with you and discuss, some of the things that are coming up for the week and hopefully give you some practical little tips to help you.
Awesome. Would
So
you like
I
to
say
start?
what was that?
Would you like to start?
Sure. So the way that I do readings, I do tarot cards, and I also do oracle cards, but I've been focused on tarot lately. Tarot is an ancient divination tool, and I discussed it last week, actually, kind of talking about it. But ultimately, tarot is very much a truth teller, and it talks about our story, our journey through life. And so it's very structured. There are four suits, there are major and minor arcana, And those are all used to tell a story and get a snapshot of this moment, and also maybe some past influences in this moment, and also some future ideas. So yeah, so I think ultimately the 4 suits are broken into the elements. So we have pentacles, which is earth. We have wands, which is fire. We have cups, which is water. And then we have swords, which is air. So those are all different parts of our psyche that we look at. So anyway, so what I do is I just pulled some cards, past, present, and future, as a snapshot in this moment, with the reminder for all of you that are watching that this is a snapshot. Ultimately, you are the steward of your own destiny, and you can make your own decisions based on whatever it is that you feel, right? And so anyway, so that's a little bit about the tarot. So you ready? Let's get started. Okay.
So ready.
So in this moment today, yes, we talked, today is a new moon. It's a beautiful day to kind of look at some of these things, right, Marina?
Definitely.
And this moon is in Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the zodiac that is very much kind of take care of your home, look at your inner, your inner home as well, and, release anything that needs to be released in a very simple way. I'm sure Marina will have some more input on that as well. But in this moment today, the past influences that I pulled is the King of Pentacles reversed. So it looks like this, and I use a whimsical tarot. They're kind of these interesting creatures, but it was reversed, and when it's reversed, it means the opposite. So it's kind of an alignment message for us, really. And the alignment message from the King of Pentacles is really about having too much focus on money and wealth, and looking for a way to balance and a way to ground yourself, so that as you move into more of the present moment, you'll have an easier time to expand. So really about, looking at that foundation from the past. So we want to keep that in mind. And sometimes in the summer, it's overindulgence, right? I mean, it's kind of summertime. So we're focused on, that kind of stuff. And then in the present moment, I pulled the High Priestess.
Nice.
The High Priestess is a major arcana card. And so when these pop up, this is, they hold a lot of weight, let's say. They really tell this more of the story of, your present moment, this present life that we're in. And the High Priestess is all about intuition and learning how to balance, your inner world, and paying attention to, as you can see in this card, she has a white and a black feather. And the original card has a black and white column on the card itself. So it really indicates this look at maybe balance between different worlds, like maybe the physical and the spiritual. It could be dark and light in our case, maybe dark shadows and light. It's really calling you to be still and work on that intuitive piece inside of you. And then in terms of the future, what I pulled was the Two of Wands. And again, the wands are a fiery suit. It's all about action. And this particular card, you can see this character is trying to make some decisions here between 2 different options, right? And she has, if only she were to turn around and look outside the door, the whole world is at her feet. So it talks about making a decision about, your future, and really embracing the fact that you have the key already. It's right there, right? So again, that speaks to really all of these cards. It's about grounding, taking some time to have, listen to your inner voice, your inner guidance and intuition, and then taking action and moving forward. And so I think as we kind of come out of the Cancer, zodiac sign and go into Leo, that kind of talks about that as well. So that's what I have.
That is
What about
such a great spread for the new moon. That is just
is that
perfect. Like the
something?
last one that you pulled, just
Which one?
incredible. The last one you pulled was just perfect for the new moon, I think.
Yeah,
Like with all these opportunities lying at your feet and what you can do to embrace them and get going, because at some point you have to get a move on,
right.
It's not going to happen by itself, but yeah.
It's
Really,
time to
really
stop
great.
the overindulgence and focus on material things, center inside of yourself, and take some action. Let's
That's really
go.
great.
So anyway,
Awesome.
it's that's what I have for you, my friends.
I really loved it. So that was the shadow part. Will you do another pull for the light part afterwards? Will you
No,
have
this is
anything for us? Or
for
are you just doing
this is
everything?
all together.
All
This
right.
was, I had it all in one shot here. We had a little bit of the shadow, a little bit of alignment with this friend here.
Definitely.
So, this talks about that alignment. You've got to align and balance, and remember that it's not just about the material wealth. It's about that inner connection to yourself and to all of your, beautiful friends and family that you have in your life and those things. So this is an alignment message.
All right. That's
So
really
anyway,
great.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this. So I did pull for 2 different oracles. I will be using oracles. The way oracles work for me is that they open a gateway for me to channel messages, and I go beyond what's said just on the card. And that was very interesting what came up for me, because I had things that were really in line with the new moon, things that are related to Cancer seasons, things that came up to just let us know that the lion season is just around the corner. So I think it's going to be interesting. So the one I used for the shadow part, the one that focuses on these heavy energies that could come up this week, I used the Oracle of the Witch, which is like this. It's a really beautiful deck. And it talks about all things witchy, of course, like the craft, some goddesses, some symbols that we use as witches. But it can talk to anybody, really, because the symbols and the messages that came up with the cards are much deeper than just witchcraft. So what I will ask you to do is just to ask your higher self which cards are meant for you today. So I'm going to guide you to just simple grounding practice. So if you want to close your eyes, put your hands over your heart or your belly or on your thighs. Breathe in, breathe out. Ask for your ego to step aside so that you can receive the best message, the message that is meant for you today. Ask for your higher self to guide you in choosing 1, 2, or 3. You can take the time to feel the energy moving through your body, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And you can put in the comment whether you're watching in a replay or watching live, which card is meant for you today. So for the shadow part, the first card I pulled was the card of cures and remedies. And it's associated with healing. There was a little quote that I really liked on the card that was, root to the earth to connect with ancient plants teachers who show you how to heal. And the message I got for you this week, if you pulled the first card, this message is for you. You have to look at the way you deal with discomfort in every area of your life for this week. How do you deal with pain? If you have to heal, obviously there's something painful, something that causes discomfort somewhere, whether it's in your physical body, psychologically, or in your energy. There's something causing discomfort. How do you deal with this? Do you sit and wait, or are you ready to get real and start the healing process? Because we tend to get addicted at some point with the pain. Sometimes the discomfort is just here to remind us we're alive, and we kind of get used to it and we forget that it's there. But the message for you this week is that the healing process is here to set you free. And you can use anything witchy like the apothecary to rely on plants or any kind of cures that you like. But at some point, you have to go deep. And the shadow around this is, where are you neglecting yourself? Where have you made the habit of neglecting yourself? So go look at that. You can journal, you can do a little ritual if you like, candle ritual. That could be a very good time for you to release anything around pain, around suffering, and the way you identify with those stories that are still painful for you, and see if you still have something to learn from them. And if so, well, that's okay. That's your journey, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're ready to let go, now is the time to release so that you can start differently afterwards. And this is the new moon, so obviously you're supposed to set your intentions, but you can't do this if you haven't released yet. So the message for you, if you pulled the first card, was this: how do you sit with discomfort, and are you ready to let go and start the healing process? For the second card, we have the scrying and divination. I'm sorry, I'm not sure of how you pronounce it, so just let me know if that's not the right way of saying this.
Scrying?
Scrying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the message was, look deep into a crystal ball to see the unseen, know the unknown, and trust the unspoken. So for you, if you pulled the second card, this week invites you to dive deep into the shadow work and your feelings around your gifts, and especially what you can see and feel. How comfortable are you with this? Are you ready to actually embrace your magic? Or are you still reluctant? Do you feel like this is a burden? Do you feel like people are going to judge you, are going to reject you? So go and look at this. Go look at, who are you trying to, I don't know, whose feelings are you trying to protect by not embracing your true gifts? Who are you afraid of disappointing? And how deep do you have to go to truly realize that this is not in your head, this is real, you're meant for this, you can do this, and we're still waiting for you to actually embrace it, because we need you, you know? You have gifts, so just go ahead, just do your thing. We want to see you shine, but obviously this is scary. This means that you have to let go of past identities, and that also means that as soon as you start embracing your gifts, maybe some relationships, some situations will stop. But that is okay. So are you ready for this? Are you ready to actually see, open your eyes? And maybe there's also a part of you that is still in denial about something. And this week I want you to go and look at that. What are you in denial about? What is the thing that you don't want to see, whether within yourself or in your current situation? There's something. Go look at that, and you'll see that you'll feel much lighter by the end of the week, as soon as you're ready to release all of this. And for the third card, well, this one tells us that the lion season is upon us, obviously, because we have Aradia and the word magic. And Aradia is one of the central figures in witchcraft, because she's supposed to be the daughter of Diana and Lucifer, so obviously very powerful, and she's the witch that sets us free. But she's not doing it in a gentle way. She's very, very strong-minded, and she's ready to just take everything down so that you can rebuild. and embrace your gifts. So the message is very close in a way from the first one, from the second one we had just a little before. This card invites you this week to actually take your rightful place, but it has two sides. Um, if you take your rightful place in a very aligned energy, this will be okay. You won't have any discomfort. This will go perfectly and smoothly. That means that you've done the releasing work before and you're ready to take your place. But if you're trying to cut corners, if you're trying to doing this by manipulating or doing this by taking advantage of something or someone, this will blow back in your face. So just be very clear about the way you do this. But it is time for you to take your rightful place. You are gifted, you are powerful. This is almost Leo season, so just you're ready. You can do this. But it might be uncomfortable because, as we said before, the more you shine, the more you create envy in others, the more you have to deal with jealousy, you have to deal with people who used to use you and who can't anymore. So you have to be ready to let go of all of this so that you can shine and just be your shiny self and powerful, because Aradia is extremely, extremely powerful. So are you ready to really step into your magic?
I love that. You know, it's so perfect for the new moon, all of those.
No.
And they really connect to, you know, the tarot as well. I mean, so I think that, you know,
You
that
had the High
idea of
Priestess earlier, didn't you, in the
what was that?
tarot? You had the High Priestess, I think, in
Yeah.
one of your cards. Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, she's a very powerful, powerful, um, you know, character in the tarot for sure. Um, so yeah, and today, you know, as we talked about, you know, the new moon is such a powerful time to really do some reflection and releasing so that, you know, you can set some new intentions for yourself and step into, I mean, it's all aligned as well with the change of the season and stepping into this Leo energy, you know, is powerful and active and passionate and really being authentic in yourself, and you know, letting yourself just shine. So I think, you know, even if you picked all of them, Marina, they go
Yeah.
they go very well together.
Yes, definitely. Is there a practice that you would recommend for this new moon? Is there something that you like to do for the new moon to celebrate or to just tune in to the energies?
Yeah, actually, for me, it has been a little bit more, I guess, practical. And I think I've been feeling this Cancer energy, and I decided to go through some of the boxes and bins and, you know, organize and things like that, you know, in my home. And I realized as I was going through that it wasn't just about the actual objects themselves. It was about the memories and the, you know, feelings and emotions that were attached to them. So it really was a giant therapy session for me because, you know, I saw a lot of things that, you know, I did with my kids or that, you know, I used to do in a creative way or, you know, whatever those things are. And I had to really acknowledge that and release it
Okay, that's
because, you know,
powerful.
they have been in boxes and I walk by them and I see them and they take up this mental and emotional space. And the, you know, the idea I've got to do this, you know, this is hanging over me, or there's this, you know, shame or guilt attached to, you know, having this soul clutter around,
Yeah, that's
really.
what I was
And
about to say. You decluttered your mind doing this.
yes, and so that idea, I mean, I slept like an absolute baby last night because I had made so much room, you know,
Yeah.
and it was such a strange, bizarre thing to be, going through these boxes and crying my eyes out as I'm,
Oh, you did a grid purge, actually. Yeah.
very much so. And I felt that energy. It was deep. I had to really just do it. And so while I don't do that on every, moon, it was kind of more almost dark moon oriented a little
Yeah.
bit. But getting ready for setting new intentions and making room for new adventures and a new chapter in life and, all of those things. So yeah, that's something that wow, was incredibly powerful for
Yeah, I
me, but
bet.
also practical. I
I
have
always
space.
procrastinate on these things. Like I know it's gonna be extremely like it's gonna be a strong release, and yet I always just do it at the last minute. I would try to avoid it because sometimes it gets so uncomfortable to go through those boxes and just sometimes I just wish I could just throw it away without even looking what's inside of the boxes, but don't even have the guts to do that either.
And I think it relates, to
Yeah.
this in some ways, because the idea that you have to be very grounded and deal with this stuff, right? These material things, you have to deal with that. And the answer is not to go out and have more, buy more, or get more, or any of that. The idea is to really deal with what you already have so that you can embrace this,
Okay.
connect to that intuitive self and, kind of clean and cleanse everything and make space. And then you can do this, right?
Yeah.
Then you can
That is
turn
such a
around
good
and walk
process.
through the door and, make that decision because you have that quiet, that stillness after doing all that active, piece. And so, yeah, that for me was incredibly powerful. I have to go out and buy more Kleenexes now.
That's really great. I mean, you did so good. Oh, I
So,
have one last thing for you, if that's okay with you.
yes,
I did
please.
a little reading on the ritual deck by Cassie Huell that I really love, which is filled
Mm,
with little
yeah.
symbols. And just like I did for the Oracle of the Witch, I invite you to close your eyes and tune in and ask which card is meant for you. And this one is going to be your superpower for the week. And
Ah, I
it's going to
love
be
it.
beautiful.
I love
So
it.
you can just
Okay.
close your eyes, breathe deep, and ask which message is meant to find me today. What is my superpower for the week? 1, 2, or 3. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back with me. And if you pick the card number 1, you have the conch. I guess that's how you pronounce it.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And it's the card of power, proclamation, and awakening. And it relates to the crown chakra and spirit. So obviously, this is a very powerful card, and it's beautiful because the message is, I am the universe. And the conch is related to the sound Om, the one that vibrates from within. And it's the one that calls you power. So this week, just remember that you are creating your reality and that the universe is always, always in your corner and is going to support your dream as soon as you get clear on what they are. As soon as you've done your release work, as soon as you're done with the shadow part, then you can tune in and remember how powerful you are. You are powerful enough to create your reality and change it. But this is your
Absolutely.
superpower for the week. If you pull card number 2, this probably means that you didn't take the time to connect with the dark moon last night. So the dark moon is here for you.
Ah, time to clear out the boxes.
You need to rest. You need to be still for a second and observe. It's connected to the third eye chakra, the root chakra, the direction of north, and the earth. So the message for you is doing nothing is doing something. Have you taken the time to take a deep breath and relax? Or have you been in a frantic energy, moving things around and trying to do, and forgot to take the time to tune in and ask and sit in this silence? It's okay to sit in silence and try to quiet your mind, but you can't feel safe if you're always moving around. So even though this is the new moon today, take some time this week to just sit and stay still for a minute. And then you'll see that you'll have more space to receive the messages that are meant for you. And you'll probably be able to see more clearly what opportunities lie ahead for you. If you're constantly moving around, it's going to be very difficult for you to realize that you have opportunities just at your fingertips. So take the time to take a breath and stand still for a minute. And if you pull the third card, well, in that case, you have the seed of life, which is also very beautiful, absolutely perfect for the new moon because it's related to the sacral chakra, the water, and the new moon. And the words are miracle, oneness, and potential. So obviously, this is the energy that you'll be able to carry around with you for the whole week. You are powerful, you are the creator of miracles, and you have the ability to start fresh anytime you feel like it's the right time for you. You don't have to wait for the new moon to do this. Just connect to that seed of life that lies within you, that spark, and find a way to ignite it however it feels most aligned for you. And the word that the mantra you can use is, I am the seed of potential. And this one can be a superpower for the week too. So this was what I had to say, the light part of the shadow of the light.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I again, those are all very resonant with everything we've talked about.
Yeah,
today.
definitely.
And
they go really well with the cards that you pull for the tarot.
Yeah, I think, that idea of getting still is so critical. And a lot of times, in this hustle, kind of capitalistic, structure that we're in right now, we are just pushed to do more and more and more and more. And we don't hear too often that it gets to be easy, and I think that's something that we need to tell ourselves, and that being still is so important in order to create space, in order to welcome and magnetize new opportunities, new situations, better situations. That stillness is such a powerful place to be, to do all of those things, to release.
It's so hard to find the time.
Yeah, it's critical. So today is a powerful day.
Yeah.
And it really is a time to take advantage of the energy that's with us today. The new moon is, it's time to do both of those things, to release and to activate. And the best thing to do is always to align with your highest, most optimal path.
Definitely.
And that's what is here for all of us. And so that is the superpower, I think, for us to work on today, for sure,
And I all think that's the message we had for everybody for this week, is that you have the power to change things, to take control, but in a way that allows you to receive at the same time and not grasp on too hard. And this is a new week, but also the fact that it's the new moon, that we're still in Cancer season. You have so many emotions coming up that can be your guides all through this time that you're going through. And you can trust the messages that you receive from your body, from the energy around you, from your emotions, from anything. It's not in your head, it does exist. You can trust it. You have an inner compass that's very powerful. You just have to find a way to listen to it sometimes. And standing still is a very good practice that we tend to neglect because it's like, ah, you're not doing anything, so obviously it's not working. But really, when you take the time, you can achieve miracles with this one.
I agree. I would say my last practical tip is to go out and buy Kleenex. Make sure you have Kleenex. And instead of doing this with your hands and gripping on for all of your life and white knuckling it, do this. Just do this. So thank you guys so much for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you next week.
Is there an offer you'd like to talk about? Is there something coming up in your world that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'm actually working on a course for working with foundational energy, healing foundational energy, all of the cracks in the foundation, you know, at certain points in life that you have to repair and remodel in order to get to the next phase, whatever that is for you. So that's something that I'm working on right now. Details to follow. But in the meantime, I am here doing these readings, and that is how I do my coaching as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah, so it's coming. How about you, Marina?
I've reopened the books for the Oracle and Tarot reading sessions. The links are in my bio if you were interested. I do them in French, but obviously also in English. And it's usually something that you receive via email. You can book your session and then I'll do the reading and email it to you. It will either be in written form or as an audio version of it. Fabulous. And if any of you who've been watching the live, either live or in replay, want to have a photo of the cards that you've pulled, you can message me and I'll gladly send you a picture of the cards that you had.
Oh, that's a fabulous idea. I love it. I love it. That's perfect. Perfect.
So
all right, my friends. Well, we wish you the best week.
Yes.
And
and
we'll be here next week.
Yes, definitely. See you next week. Bye. Have a great week.